MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It's a special Halloween presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the New York Jets taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. A few minutes ago, the hometown Jets were introduced to this sellout crowd, and it's a roar that could be heard across the river in Manhattan. They're set to go as their Jets will match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon, and Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. They've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend to be there in the end.
Returnable here for Davis. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And I like his honesty, because when we sat down with him, I mean, he was the first one to say that was on me last week, a really poor performance. Way too many interceptions, didn't find the end zone throwing the ball, put his defense and his special teams in some real jeopardy, but somehow they won the game.
They won.
Yeah, what I loved about is when he told us about the defense kind of corralling him in the locker room and said, all right, my man, we're not going to do that again this week, are we?
5 yards on the game's first play, second down. They'll look to throw. He's got Herndon, his tight end. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Now a draw play. This is Bell. Bell so light on his feet. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. A give to Bell. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Well, Charles, something we talked about last week, when you start believing whether you're in the midst of a special season or not. Well, now they're at 6-0. Are you still trying to tamp down the expectations in that locker room?
Well, to me, it's less about tamping down expectations and much more about not getting ahead of yourself as a team. And look, they've got to play each game individually, right? Many teams talk about being 1-0 at the end of each and every game each week. To me, you got to understand you cannot win the Super Bowl in October.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
Time to see the Bengals offense go to work, and leading them out, the #1 overall pick in the 2020 draft, Joe Burrow, now his 2nd season out of LSU.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, Charles, you talk about this offense in this week 8 of the 2021 campaign. Now, normally this would be the halfway point of the season, but as we all know, this now a 17-game regular season. And because of that, seems like now maybe more than ever, getting your open week to occur later in the season, that could be a pretty big advantage.
Brandon, it's always been a big advantage, and now, as you pointed out, the possibility of it becoming huge, likely. Most teams want that later open date because of injuries, you know, getting that rest before the playoff push, all of those things. Sometimes when you get an open date early in the season, it's not really much of an advantage. You might be playing well, now it slows down your momentum. This is a big deal, and teams definitely like it. The later, the better.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive, INT.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
A throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Roby Coleman. And a great return here gets us one all the way down to the 26-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
First down carry for Bell, but he'll work forward for only about a yard.
Well, this defense for the Bengals, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
He's got his veteran tight end Landry. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12.
Carter Landry, at this stage of his career, we know he's had some injuries, and he's been around a time or two, but definitely still a factor when you need the tough yards on third downs. And he uses those big mitts of his to pull that one in and keep the drive moving.
And that's caught by Landry for a Jets touchdown. Great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Jets have taken a first quarter lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's finished off by a New York Jets touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Burrow caught by the tight end Ertz. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. Burrow looking to pass. And this pass broken up.
The contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Now it's Crowder. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And the Jets will take over first and 10. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll look to throw here. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack.
Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly, but that time it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go, timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. Here's Braden Mann now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. John Franklin Myers in there to bury him for a loss of 11. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely, of course, or go down.
Under pressure, and they got to him again.
The former 3rd overall pick, Quentin Williams there to bring him down.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I think it's back to the drawing board, or should I say in today's game, the Surface tablet after this drive. 3 plays, they go backwards. They look like they've gotten something going right there, but they'll have to punt the football away to end this one.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Crowder now to return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over first and 10. So here are the Jets now to take over. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now beginning this drive first and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Bell. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell.
And the Bengals are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of this. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Quentin Williams Williams picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Meanwhile, Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. They'll get to the line here, but remember, this goes out wide for Mixon. And a good tackle around the 30 stops him short of the first down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Walked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That's taken on the 25. Found good room to run there. Returns it 14 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And what do you think's going through his head right now? Your team's winning, but you're not having your best game. That probably affects you even when your team is up.
You don't want anyone else to know it, but I think you're right. It bothers a quarterback because they always want to be the one to lead their team to victory with their play as well as their words. And in this case, he's got something he can fall back on. He's contributed, yet at the same time he's thrown an interception. Got to remember the bottom line, though. They're winning, so he knows if he plays better, they might be winning by more.
And it's only the 2nd quarter, so he's got some time. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Back to throw. Airing one out for Crowder. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. Stays on his feet. And some room to work. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Well, when both guys went up for the ball, I just thought, who's going to come down with it? I didn't think he'd come down with it and then take it all the way for a touchdown.
That's battling, isn't it? Because normally, if both guys go up for it and come down with it, the tie goes to the offense. The defensive player didn't want it to be a tie at all. He wanted a little bit more, took it, and went the other direction.
Gostkowski the extra point, and we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to look deep for more. And this one is incomplete. So we are at halftime here on Halloween. As we'll get, well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the 2nd half in Week 8 in the NFL. Set and ready to go for the 2nd half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score.
Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Joe Burrow and the Bengals set to go back on offense.
And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Tackle made by Foley Fatukasi, the former UConn Husky.
Well, they're hoping that the 2nd half is better for him than the 1st half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense. On
2nd and 9, Burrow dumps it off to Mixon. And that's good for a gain of 6. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted.
Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And his crew will take over with the football at the 35-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Well, 1st down run with Bell as he'll get about 6 there.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll go again with Bell. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try to throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
The interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Here again comes Joe Burrow in the offense for the Bengals. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. His throw incomplete.
Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
3rd and 2. Now Burrow. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been any. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Punt of 38 yards officially, and out will come the offense as they take over. So out now come the Jets. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. That's pulled in, the veteran Carter Landry. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. It's a big play that time by the Jets.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there, working in the heart of the defense, and they connect on a very nice play downfield, a combination of talent and toughness to go into the briar patch.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now. Right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
From the 44, Burrow to Mixon on the check down. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Mixon with a first down carry. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here we go. From midfield now, Burrow.
There's the rookie from LSU. It's Jamar Chase.
And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 33.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
Burrow's throw into the hands of Boyd. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Only needing 2 yards on second down.
Now it's Burrow. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Mikel Roby-Coleman.
And the Jets force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Again, it's Bell. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
54 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Man open is Keelan Cole, complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 39.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Well, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And he's got the hook up to Landry. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Carter Landry with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Jets are going to add on to their lead. Solid response that time by a young quarterback. Last drive, interception. This drive, the touchdown pass.
I like how you described it, solid, because you don't get extra kudos for bouncing back if you're going to be a big-time quarterback. You're supposed to do that. But at the same time, when you're a rookie, that's not guaranteed, is it? Sometimes they hang their heads and they go in the tank a little bit. Not in this case. Bounced back, took his team downfield, and threw a touchdown pass.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. To return it, Darius Phillips. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, you know, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. Here's Higgins out on the right side. A good start there on 1st down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That would be the key to this drive.
Loses the football, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. Gonzalez to add the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. On the return, Phillips. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Jets defense, we watch them get set to go now. And they had the fumble return for a touchdown, and boom, they're right back out there again.
And you hear so many people talk about opportunistic defenses in today's football. Well, they make their own breaks because they work at it all the time. We've been at the practices, the drills where they're trying to strip the football, the takeaways. They're always working on it, and it paid off for them on the last possession.
Paid off. Now can they do it again? And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. This is caught. It's Boyd. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. To the air again, Burrow. That's taken in by Higgins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now Burrow loses the football. So they keep the football, but now face 2nd and long. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. Burrow will throw. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. A final shot now for Burrow. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter,
Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Jets, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.